Next, if you take the limitations, of the Bernoulli's theorem, the Bernoulli's equation has been derived on assumption that the velocity is uniform over the section. First thing enti limitations of the Bernoulli's theorem. Limitations. Limitations of the Bernoulli's theorem. First point, the Bernoulli's equation has been derived on assumption that the velocity is uniform. It should be uniform over the section. But actually the velocity of liquid particle is maximum at the center of the pipe and gradually decrease towards the pipe was due to friction. If you draw the velocity distribution diagram in the pipe, like it seems to be like this. The maximum velocity you can see at the center of the pipe. Okay, minimum at the edges of the pipe. Why? Because here you can, if you suppose to take, this is the pipe. If you take the pipe, in this pipe the water is flowing like this. The maximum velocity you can see at the center, minimum velocity at the points or border of the boundary of the wall or pipe inside. Why? Because you can see here the friction. Due to friction the velocity will be decreased. But as per Bernoulli's, the Bernoulli's equation, what is saying, it has been derived on assumption that the velocity is uniform over the section. Assumption mean it is imagination, there is no reality. Okay, that is why it is assumption. Okay, presumption is it's a real thing, assumption is imagination. What he is assuming, the velocity is uniform over the section. He is thinking like the entire velocity is uniform. Okay, next, Bernoulli's equation, only mean velocity of the liquid should be taken into consideration. So as per Bernoulli's equation, we should only take mean velocity of the liquid should be taken into consideration. Second point, Bernoulli's equation has been derived by assuming that there is not loss of energy of the liquid particle while flowing. There should be not loss of energy of the liquid particle while flowing. But actually energy losses occurs in the liquid flow due to viscous and turbulent friction. If the water is flowing in the pipe, you can observe the turbulence. Okay, due to turbulence and viscous of the fluid you can see the loss of energy. But assumption based చేసుకుంటే, if you take the assumption into consideration, that is total energy remains same. That is the second point. Third thing is, Bernoulli's equation has been derived under the assumption that the only forces acting on the liquid are gravity force and pressure forces only. You should consider only gravity force and pressure forces. You should consider only gravity force and pressure force. This is also assumption. Okay, but in actual practice some external forces also acting on the liquid. All these things are limitations. Okay, next, fourth one. Fourth limitation is, Bernoulli's equation is applicable only for study in compressible and irrotational flow. Bernoulli's equation only applicable for steady flow. Already we studied in the first slide. It is only for steady flow, incompressible, Not compressible, incompressible. Of course, incompressible means water, all these things, liquids. Incompressible, incompressible, and irrotational flow. Irrotational flow. Fifth one is, it is only for steady and incompressible and irrotational flow. Fifth one is for rotational flow, the Bernoulli equation is applicable only to particular streamline. Only for particular streamline it will be applicable for rotational flow, for particular streamline. For particular streamline. Okay, this is the important thing. If you see the practical applications of Bernoulli's theorem, yeah, the Bernoulli's equation is applied in all problems of incompressible liquid flow where energy considerations are involved. The other equation which is commonly used in the problems of liquid flow is the continuity equation. Both these equations are widely used in the solution of Mann problems of liquid flow. Some of the hydraulic devices which are based on Bernoulli's equation are venturimeter, orifice meter, pitot-static tube. So these three things are working on the principle of Bernoulli's theorem. Bernoulli's theorem. Bernoulli's theorem. Okay. So here let us see the venturimeter. Already we have studied about the venturimeter. I will tell you, as per your syllabus, we have only static pitot tube. Pitot tube is orifice meter already we have studied. Orifice meter is a device. Does we have orifice meter? Nozzle, mouthpiece, orifice, coefficient of orifice meter. Okay. First of all, pitot tube is measures the velocity, sum of velocity head and pressure head. Pitot tube is used for sum of velocity head and pressure head. Piezometer is used to measure for pressure head. You should keep it in your mind. This is very important thing for prospective of ESET and competitive exams. And one more question also. Pitot tube is used for velocity head and pressure head. If you want to find out the pressure, we will use piezometer. Okay, pitot-static tube is a combination of piezometer and pitot tube. It can be measure velocity head. If you want to find out the velocity head, you will use pitot-static tube. Okay, as per your syllabus, we have pitot tube, not a pitot-static tube. Pitot tube is there. Same like we have same like this. Okay. Pitot tube is a device used for measuring the velocity of a flow at any point in a channel or a pipe. It is based on the principle that if velocity of flow at any point becomes zero, the pressure there is increased due to conversion of kinetic energy into pressure energy, and by measuring this increased pressure energy, the velocity of flow may be determined. You have to increase the uh, pressure due to conversion of kinetic energy into pressure energy. By measuring this increased pressure energy, the velocity of the flow may be determined. A pitot tube consists of a simple glass tube. This seems to be like this simple glass tube. This is glass tube. Okay. If you take uh, this is the pipe, you have to insert inside the pipe like this. This is the pipe, you have to insert like this. From here, from bottom to top, this level is V by W, pressure energy plus kinetic energy, V square by 2G. V square by 2G. Okay. uh, if you add here another pipe, this height, from here there is the water raised in the piezometer, in the tube. From here to top is small h. Okay. From the center of the pipe, to this water level, is pressure head, P by W. Clear? So this is actual water level. From here to here the water increased, that is with addition of velocity head. Here, that is why we are adding V square by 2G. Clear? The pitot tube consists of a simple glass tube bent at right angle. This is bent at right angle as shown in figure. The tube is dipped vertically in the pipe flowing stream of a liquid with its open end A directed. This is open end A. Open end A is directed in upstream direction. The liquid rises up in the tube due to conversion of kinetic energy into pressure energy. This flowing is kinetic energy, this is due to pressure energy. It will be rise in this tube, liquid level will be rise. Okay. The liquid rises up to the tube due to conversion of kinetic energy into pressure energy. The velocity is determined by measuring the rise of liquid in the tube. Here, if h be the rise of liquid in the tube above the free surface, then actual velocity of flow is, if you want to find out the actual velocity, that is coefficient of velocity under root of 2gh. 2gh. Okay, this is the velocity, actual velocity. Actual velocity is cv under root 2gh. Here cv is 0.98. cv is the 0.98. Okay, you should keep in your mind. This is the important. If you take the orifice meter, this is also used to measure the rate of flow through a pipe. Venturimeter for pressure, here I am writing, it is used to find out the pressure. Okay. Orifice meter is device, it is used for measuring the rate of flow. It is used for to measure the rate of flow or discharge. Rate of flow. Rate of flow. Orifice meter is used to measure the rate of flow. Next one is pitot tube. Pitot is it is used to measure the velocity. Pitot tube is used to measure the velocity. Okay, now we are discussing about the orifice meter. It also works on the same principle as that of venturimeter. It consists of a flat circular plate which has a sharp edged circular hole called orifice. Sharp edged hole is called orifice. We have to put two piezometer tubes here and there. Here it will show the reading. This is the pipe. For pipe we have to add some piezometers at two sections. Okay, here we this consists of two plates. Two plates. This is the area of the orifice. Area of the orifice. Okay, from here water is flowing like this. Water is flowing like this. Okay, water is flowing like that. Okay, here the area A1 at inlet section area is A1. At middle this is A2. At exit you should draw like this parallel. This is A3. This is A3. Okay. Then if you want to find out the discharge in the orifice meter, it is to find out the rate of flow. That is QA equal to CD into A1, A2 under root of 2GH divided by under root of A1 square minus A2 square. Okay. So this is the formula to find out the discharge in the orifice meter. Water is flowing from here to there. Water is flowing like this. Here this is the A1 at this point 1. This is A2. At a orifice dia is A2. Okay. The diameter of the orifice may vary from 0.2 to 0.85 times of the pipe diameter. If you take this diameter is 1 meter, this orifice diameter is vary from 0.2 to 0.85 times of the pipe diameter. But generally it is kept as half of the pipe of the diameter. If the pipe diameter is 10 meters, this A2 should be treated as a 5 meters. Okay, either pressure gauges or differential manometer is connected at section 1. It's section 1, section 2. Piezometer tubes are differential manometers we have to connect. Okay, so this is the orifice meter. With the help of this equation, you can write. All these things are those formulas. Okay, right.